But in reality, Gordie fairly new to this game, whereas Michael been playing for quite a while. Michael's sort of one of the old hands here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Very seasoned player. Gordie just got him into the game this year. So the fact that he's here playing in this, I'm proud of that personally.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's become a really good player in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
I love playing
very,
against him.
It's fun playing with him. He has a really good attitude when
absolutely.
he plays. It's always just kind of a blast. And he just has this kind of I don't know. I guess I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
and then he's kicking your butt.
And I think that makes sense, right? Because when you're so new to the game, you're still actually very unsure of like some of the things you're doing because you haven't played enough matchups to necessarily know everything that's going on, like in terms of experience.
Yeah.
But the decisions he makes are usually the right ones. Like he's a very good decision maker in game.
Right.
And so here we're going to see him playing Kate against ETF. Yet another classic matchup. Sorry, guys. We're not at all exciting down here.
A while back, he was like, oh, and I don't know if I'm going to play after Data and Destiny. And I was like, why? And he's like, because I just kind of got used to like seeing stuff. And he's like, it's all going to change and it's all going to be different. I said,
that's so funny.
That's part of the game. That's what makes this game so good.
Because what the two of us have in common is Elliot, also here playing.
Right.
He's the one that got both of us into the game, really.
Yeah.
Said the same thing after about Order and Chaos. When Order and Chaos came out, he said, I don't think I can play anymore after Order and Chaos because it's headlock and it stops the corp from playing games. It's so funny.
It's too different.
People are so resistant to it, and then here they are playing months later and in essentially a finals tournament.
He's Gordie would drive up from. He lives, I believe, in essentially downtown or near downtown, and he would come out to Marietta to play, and he just always did such a good job.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Better than me. But so install from ETF. No one is surprised at that. Kate in response. Let's make a start.
Let's make a guess as to what that is. What is that remote?
That face down. Adonis.
Let's say Breaker Bay. No, I'm not gonna say that. I don't know what it is.
It's Adonis.
I'll let you be right or wrong.
So, plays the pad, plays Lucky Find. It's not bad.
No, yeah,
this is not a bad play. I imagine draw is probably the last click.
Let's see. Send him the message.
I'm channeling the message.
Adonis.
Oh no, he played.
He ran it.
Oh, he ran it. Okay, he ran it and killed Adonis. Oh, I see. I was looking at Gordie, like waiting for him to do something. Didn't realize he'd made a run already.
All right, install. Take 2 credits. Excuse me.
But there's a Breaker Bay in hand. So see, we were both kind of right. I was just righter.
Yeah, you were more righter. All right, so Astrolabe. Astrolabe won't be as
not as prevalent in this matchup as it was for Hollis.
Yeah, it won't fire where
he
actually has the other player drawing him his cards.
Although HB doesn't necessarily hate, having multiple economy servers, right?
No.
Especially with Eves out, and they're like, yeah, sure, spend 5 to keep me from gaining 2 every turn.
Yeah.
So we might see some
prepaid
of that,
number 2. That's excellent.
Yeah, it's really good for Gordie. Gordie's going to be really happy about that.
Econ for days. And draw.
Michael, going to be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, I mean,
he sees no rig out for Gordie, and he has all the money.
Right. However, this is also one of those points where you're like, I wouldn't mind seeing an agenda at this particular point because I have, 12, 13, 14 credits, and I feel pretty good about that. I'd like to score some points.
Certainly, and I think Gordie, on the other hand, is saying, so I've got sort of the base of my rig up, but none of the action of my rig, so what do I need to do to sort of get there?
Yeah. And I always like to say when I'm, run into an architect, I like to think, let me just get that out of the way. Now that I know.
Yeah. And I do it all the time, so like I hate it. It's the worst letting it fire.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's the bad luck, and at least now you know where it is.
Well, it's that sense of you can face check engine in the future.
Sure.
On clicks 1 and click 2. And so that's kind of the worst of it is architect, though it's not good.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. It's also HB has been using a lot more like Ichis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now,
how about Ichi? It's been
it's been around forever, and now all of a sudden
they're like, oh yeah, that's
a card. Let's play it.
That card there is good.
And so that's sort of the trade-off, right? If you want to face check early, sure, you're going to cost them maybe percentage-wise,
Yeah.
it's a greater impact for them in terms of money, but you're into an Architect, you're into an Ichi, they can do some pretty impactful damage to you.
We got a scoring remote.
Yeah, it's looking that way. He's going to drop Eli in front of the other remote and just get money, which I think makes sense here. You know, he's got a comfortable amount of money, but you know he's not in the range where if he biotic scores that he's got money after that. Like that's dangerous, and he wants to be at the point where he can just draw into an agenda and have a biotic and score it and still feel comfortable with money, especially against Kate.
What number would that be for you? At what point are you comfortable in HP with?
Okay, well, so minimum to do that is 6, right? Right, because you install to get the credit, biotic, and score.
Correct.
But obviously that leaves you broke.
Correct.
So I say always want to have probably about 5 additional. You want to be able to res that ice and maybe an upgrade, like an Ash if you need to.
Right. I think that's fair.
But even then, going broke to do those things is scary. And so it depends on how well developed your board is. Gordie, I think he steals this, Yep. With 4 credits still left, I think that's fine.
And he's looking one more?
Again, yeah.
Was that a Chimera?
I don't know. I think we did have his list earlier, so it's here in this pile we've already used.
All right. Sexy man bots online?
Yep.
All the man bots? All the time.
It's unfortunate he didn't get to use Breaker Bay for it, but obviously he's going to try and score something out sooner rather than later in that server. So I would be surprised if he didn't draw and take some money here.
I think okay.
Oh, we're being told that there might actually already be an ABT in that server. Sorry, I was not paying attention.
So Michael is going to think that
but
server's safe for
he's
now.
He's worried about that R&D lock. Gordie already has a pretty cheap way in. So.
Yeah, because he goes, lucky find run, then he's got money for days.
And so he
gets to look at 2 cards.
Back that up and take some cash. Gordie, on the other hand, only has 1 breaker out, so he's going to draw some cards here. Draws into a lucky find and another self mod. So going to be pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
But it's a little click intensive in terms of doing another run this turn. So he might just drop the same old, or the self mod and lucky find. Oh no, clone chip, self mod.
He'll lucky find, I guess.
He'll lucky find next turn.
Yeah.
And then probably make a run.
And then because now we've got Shaper BS up and running because we've got you can recycle the SMC.
Which begs the question: is he running the Claw?
All right, Michael.
Here, what do you think? Is Gordie running Claw or no? Take a guess.
Yes, I think he's running Clot.
We'll find out here shortly.
I don't think it'll particularly...
He is. He's running 1 Clot.
Okay.
Michael, fortunately, doesn't care.
He launches.
He's already got the AT. And fires none. That's...
I'm okay with him launching that time.
Yeah, I am as well. And it turns out he is, too. It's not terrible. It costs Gordie a click to check it out.
Right.
Gordie has a lot of information now. Michael, lost an Ash in a Breaker Bay there.
It's kind of one of those, like, I know that's in the deck, but it's
right.
I can see it, so that's good to know. And he fired it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the important thing.
But he fired it last time to his detriment.
Okay,
however.
Well, that's, you can't look at your failures and just quit, Anthony.
No, Josh, you can't. You cannot look at your failures.
When we get knocked down, we stand back up again. Quoting terrible movies.
You're never going to keep me down?
Yeah, that too. Also terrible songs. I mean, great songs.
Oh, God. Let's talk about the game and not Chumbawamba.
So Gordie, with the Gordian Blade install, card some would say was named after him. They would be wrong. Also follows it up with a lucky find, and it looks like passes it back.
Josh, you're getting kind of punchy in round 5. I like it. I like this side of you.
It's been a long weekend, my friend. It's been a long weekend and a long day.
Yeah.
So Michael, hopefully consolidating some of that into 5s.
No.
What a champion.
Michael actually went and bought another box of Netrunner today because of how worn
faded
out.
His tokens were.
I mean,
for those of you that are not familiar, his credit side of those tokens was as white as the advancement side of his tokens.
How much money do you have?
So it was virtually impossible to tell.
Yeah.
But he's sitting on 16 money. He's got DBS, Jackson in hand, along with 2 pieces of ice. Can't tell what those are right now. So if that isn't, that was an ABT in the remote. There's a Breaker Bay and an Ash.
Right. This is really kind of interesting because again, it feels like it's balanced. They both have money.
Yeah.
Gordie probably feels like he has
Stim hack.
options.
Interesting.
Huh.
Thinks that is, and I don't dislike this. I'll be honest with you, because what he wants to do is he wants Michael to res all that ice.
Right.
Use Stim hack to break into that and then trash.
And
all
then go
of the
clean it out.
upgrades.
Just clean it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's fine taking the brain damage for that because it's going to cost Michael money. And he can get money faster than Michael can right now.
This and again, I like playing HP, and it's so frustrating when you just.
That was my question that Michael just answered. If it's Breaker Bay and Ash, what's the third card? Caprice.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
So Michael isn't going to res any of the ice. I think that's fine because that's keeping information from Gordie.
Yeah.
But Gordie doesn't care. He's going to go get something anyways. The dog, the lady.
Sure. Spend the money while you got the chance.
Which is fine because I think then his next target is probably just HQ.
Yeah, and I mean we have a full rig.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to cost him a brain damage to maybe do nothing. But hey,
Let's see what
game
happens.
is a side game.
Pick your number, Josh. Pick your number.
2.
2.
Wait. Who am I? Runner or corp?
You're runner. I say
1.
2. I say 2 because it's free money. Stim hack credits.
I go 1.
That's
all right. He went with 2. So the reason I go 1 is because I think the corp expects the Stim hacker is going to spend money, period. Which is why probably Michael went 0.
Right.
But as the runner, I know that they know that, so I'm assuming they're going to spend more than 0.
And that's
so I spent
there
1.
you go. You get into that circle of thought.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know that I'm going to. I don't even want to talk
rough.
about it.
It's rough. I mean, everyone plays it differently, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just a 50-50.
Yeah.
I like to say those 3 options is a 50-50.
Right. It makes sense to spend 2. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason not to spend money there for him. Michael, it's more of a consideration, but he could have bid anything there too. So Adonis is done. The 1 robot down.
All right.
He's got the CVS now, which is huge, and he puts it in that scoring server. I love that.
So many things in there.
Because now he can fast advance. Now, as soon as he draws the next agenda antibiotic, he's got it. And that looks like a toll booth. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good.
I may have missed it. Have you seen a clot go into the bin?
I have not.
Okay.
But we know there's a self mod in the bin.
Right. Oh, that's right. So now we're looking at 3 cards. Barrier.
He's going to hit the Marcus. This is good for Michael. Michael wants to chew through those dog tokens because with 1 clone chip on the board,
I think
a big question.
Let's see. Good angle.
So DBS, Gordie debating whether to trash it. I think he should. I mean, I have learned that letting DBS survive is just loses you games. I can't do it. He scores an efficiency committee. So
now
Michael would have loved that.
This feels. I mean, for what it's worth, this is R&D lock right here. He's got a couple more uses out of it.
It's not cheap, but yeah, for the next couple of turns or a couple of runs, he can access multiple cards pretty safely. But looks like he's just gonna diesel after that. So Michael sees, I think, 2 agendas.
That's huge.
Or that, I guess that probably wasn't an agenda. That was ABT and team sponsorship, maybe?
I don't know.
But I think it looks like he takes the ABT. Yeah. Takes the ABT, installs it.
Man, I love that server. Just we got so many things in there.
And then installs the last piece of ice over R&D, which makes sense.
Yep.
But he's sitting on 12 now, so
does he lean on the Caprice, or if he makes that run in there to check things out? I mean, does he res?
The question is whether or not you put the toll booth in front of R&D or in front of the scoring server.
I believe the toll booth is in front of.
If it's on the scoring server, then yeah, you just res it, and you say sure, fine. If you want to pay to break this and try and Caprice, like Gordie's on 5 credits, that's not going to happen.
Right, but if he reses that for 8, then let's see, he's got 12 credits.
Yeah, so he's down to 4. That's
what's I don't know what he installed over the. So Victor 2 is over
that's right. Victor 2 was left in his hand.
And
so
well, first of all, we got to get his money up. Because
so neither of them are sitting super comfortably on their money. That's unfortunate for Michael drawing 2 NAPDs off of the DBS.
Yeah.
But again, something he wouldn't mind dropping to make Gordie steal, but unfortunately ABT is already in that server.
Yeah.
So he's just going to spend 3 and score that out, which I like. Because now next turn he can put the ABT in, advance it once, and say, sure, if you can get in here and beat the Caprice game, you can steal this with all of that money that you're not going to have.
Right. All right, so he's got. Where's his econ? I'm just trying to look into his hand.
Gordie, that's he's already played, I think, 2 lucky finds and a sure gamble, maybe 2 sure gambles. So there's some left, but not a whole lot.
No. Because this, I mean, it's to me, it's kind of atypical to see. All right, so he's going to go and get some money.
Or a sim hack. Nope. Money.
No,
Lucky
no,
find.
money.
I think that's the right call. Well, when there's a Caprice, you can't really afford to run dangerously. And now he can afford to go back in HQ 2 or 3 more times.
Which is interesting because that's the he's gonna look at he's gonna be able to get in and take
5
a look
cards.
at 5 cards.
It's not a small deal.
No,
that's gonna be pretty big. And unfortunately, Michael does
what are
not have Jackson installed.
The little squares are 1. What are the longer?
Big ones are 5, and the small ones are 1. Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
So he's got.
I know that, but I guess you guys might not know that. It's
good
to point out.
That's why I ask questions. Knowledge is power.
Yeah. So this is
1.
big. We know there's an
2.
NAPD on bottom.
3, 4, 5.
Ooh, and that's it. Just the one Vitruvius. So that's pretty good.
We got a game here.
Because Michael now knows for 4 turns at least, or no, 2 turns at least. Sorry.
Right.
Top of his deck is a little safe, and he can just drop that at NAPD and try and score it. Except that he's on 4 credits now. So he would probably like to see some economy, which is interesting because he then drops Eve to the bottom.
Right.
In favor of Archived Memories to go get Hedge Fund. Oh, which is not in his heap.
No,
Whoops.
he's going to go get Ash.
So he's going to go get Ash, which is interesting because I thought that was already in that remote.
It could be. There could be one in there.
Which begs the question of where he's going to put the Ash. I guess he'll just put it on R&D? Because Gordie hasn't run that remote, so he hasn't had to res the Ash. Yep, right. He's going to put it on R&D. I'm doing it again. I'm piloting.
You're
piloting the pilot.
It's as if you have a controller back here.
Don't tell them. It's my secret. Yeah, someone in chat saying they're not sure about Ash. They think they would get the Adonis. I don't disagree. You know, I think Michael wants some money, and even if you drop that in a new server, Gordie can't afford to run that right now.
Yeah.
And so that 3 drip is going to be pretty relevant in terms of scoring out that NAPD, which if he does, he's on game point.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the situations where I feel like Gordie kind of feels like he's in charge right now.
Maybe. I don't know that he feels like he's in charge. He doesn't have a whole lot of money. And so each of these runs has to be impactful. And he's gotten lucky, he's gotten these scores. He's on game point, sure.
Yeah. Well, looking at 5 cards, I mean, that's not.
Yeah, but he can only do that. He only did that once. He does no more same old things on the board.
Right.
He has to have another Maker's Eye in hand. So he's just going to run this remote.
Right.
Michael bids 1, or maybe 2.
He bids 2.
And Gordie bids 0. So
Caprice
that's one way. That's one way to cost the court money at least. But Gordie didn't really do anything for that click essentially. Going to do it again.
Michael bids 1.
0.
Up.
So they both bid 0. Michael pays 2 to res Ash.
Traces 4.
Or, I'm sorry, pays 0. I forgot Breaker Bay is there.
Right. I mean, Breaker Bay does so much work.
Yeah, it does. It saves you so much money, and that's why HB sort of blew up again when that came out, because it made this economy so much more viable. And so Gordie can't really do anything. He can pay 3 to trash the Ash, but that's all he's getting, and that puts him at 1 credit.
Which
it's not terrible with prepaid, but it puts you out of sure gamble range, for instance.
Correct.
And so I don't know that he wants to do that. I don't think we've seen any dirty laundry.
But I mean, at the same point, leaving it in there.
Yeah, then you got to deal with it at some point.
Then you have to.
Although that being said, if he's planning on going back into R&D, that makes that Ash a lot less powerful. So, news just came in. Hollis going into this round undefeated. Coming out unscathed.
So
untouched.
Aaron got swept.
Aaron got swept. So
that's that can be huge for the bubble as well.
I mean, Aaron's out.
Aaron is out.
That takes Aaron from probably being in to being out, because everyone else who was on 10, you know, somebody's going to be on 12 coming out of that, right? Woo. And we know Ross and Ollie are on 12.
Right.
So that opens it up for them, for instance.
Yeah, they're. I mean,
that was so obvious. This
I hope Ross
makes it even
I hope
more
Ross didn't leave.
Yeah. The fact that Hall swept actually makes this a little more scary for everyone on the bubble.
Woo.
Sorry. So back to this game. we missed it.
We have an install in advance.
Looks like Gordie left the Ash, and I don't disagree with that. I mean, it makes it easier to get into R&D, but it gives Michael this pretty strong server. So if Gordie can find another Maker's Eye or another same old, that's really good.
I mean,
I think he just drew a same old.
The thing is that Michael is going to res the Ash that's on R&D at the expense of the other Ash. And so he's going to either, pay his way through. I mean, he could install the same old thing and then work his way down with the stem hack. I don't know. Knowing that there's also all 2-pointers means that Gordie has maybe a little more time than he thinks he has.
Maybe. I mean, I think Gordie has to be pretty sure that they're 2-pointers. I mean, he's seen the efficiency committee and the NPDs, right? So I don't know that he's necessarily worried. Well, I mean, he should be worried. Michael putting himself on game points is never good. But he can get into that server. And so, see, he forces the Ash trash in the remote by running R&D, which I think is fine. Because Gordie knows that the agendas are probably in R&D.
Right.
And to win the game, he's going to have to get in there.
Okay, 6-6.
The issue is just, who's going to draw that agenda first.
Right. I mean, I think this is the turn to win or to lose it. That's what I think, Cotton.
Maybe. I mean, Michael doesn't have the other agenda, right? And he's
but I think
he's got a Jackson, which is really good for him.
And he's got a DBS that's up and running.
Sure. But if he DBS's, sees 2 non-agenda cards, Jackson's draws 2 non-agenda cards, that means that next card is a lot more likely to be an agenda, right?
Right.
Just based on the virtue of deck density. So 2 pieces of ice. Not what he wants to see right now.
Turing's going to do some work if he... but he doesn't have enough money to really put it up there.
So he installs Jackson in the scoring server and takes 2. And I'm fine with that as well. Because Jacksoning to draw, if it's not an agenda, it's really, really bad for him.
And that also, Gordie's got to think, well, is that the winning agenda in there?
Yeah. I mean, so he has a couple of options here. He's got 4 credits. He's got a same old thing. He could. I mean, he can't really Maker's Eye if he does that. He needs money. I mean, he could stim hack back in. Everyone in Atlanta knows the power of stim hack.
Stim hack wins games.
Could be same old thing. Stim hack for R&D, and I think that's what he's considering. He has he has a Maker's Eye in hand, actually. Sorry.
But so he has 7 credits.
Yeah. Oh, is that what that is? I thought it was 4. Okay. So 7's a lot better. Obviously. But he's got to have enough to get through the Ash as well. So. I think that's what he's trying to figure out.
Right.
And so I think same old thing, stim hack is probably the answer, which is actually fine for him because then there's a chance he can also Maker's Eye this turn. Seems unlikely, but
I agree on the stim hack. I think
it'd be Maker's Eye. There's no way he's getting back in there. He's going to have to take money first.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I think the other thing is you want Michael to pay into the ashtrays because you don't want him to look at even if it's not a Maker's Eye, he's going to be looking at 3 cards in R&D.
Sure.
So,
although I think the and that's the other thing that we sort of didn't consider is that Michael installed into a new server. Gordie has to consider it as an agenda. Right. And so, this is absolutely the play. Michael reses the barrier, forces you to lose the lady counter.
That's excellent. He's like, because Gordie is thinking, this is it. This is...
Yeah.
But, wait. Now, if Gordie's notices, he only has 2 credits.
Sure.
So even if it was a Vitruvius, he can't win the next turn.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's not a lot for him to do. He's going to lose that lady counter.
Right. Oh, because it's the Marcus.
Oh, or he just... I'm confused as to what just happened. I guess... I'm so confused.
Ben, do you have a line on this play?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Because it doesn't look like Marcus fired.
But he also didn't lose his lady counter.
But he also didn't lose a lady counter. He might have just clicked through it.
Okay.
So we'll find out. if this is his last click, then that's the case.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, we'll see. So he is maker's eyeing.
Right.
He same old thinged.
I think StimHack's the better play.
1, same old thing is 2, 3, 4. So I don't know. That can't be it. I'm very confused, but we'll see. It seems like he clicked through.
Okay.
Oh, it could be. I guess I didn't see if
Marcus. So what we have is Marcus fired all the way and clone chip.
And he discarded the clone chip for it. I guess
Right.
I just didn't see the clone chip going to the trash. My bad. Good catch, chat. Thanks for keeping us straight. So yeah, maker's eye going into R&D. Now Michael can just res the Jackson and sort of increase the density of R&D. But either way, that's a scary prospect of 5 accesses.
2 NAPDs. That'll.
Gordie right now just trying to figure out what he's going to do.
He's thinking.
Not sure what he's.
All right, spends all his money.
So it's 6.
All right.
So Gordie spends the 6. So he can't access anything more than Ash and trashes the Ash.
Yep. So Ash kind of saved the day for now.
Or whatever it was. I could probably count it wrong, but that's the gist of it.
Again, I think a StimHack. Well, unless I'm reading that line wrong, I just feel like StimHack would have been a
maybe. I mean, he got rid of the Ash, right?
Sure.
He got Michael down to 0 money, so he can't win this turn. If he assumes that thing in the remote is an agenda, then that buys him 1 turn. But now he feels like he has to go back in, probably.
Right.
Oh,
Data
do not like that. I mean, to get the lady back, I understand, but the issue is spending the clicks and the money to do it. I guess I thought there was another lady in the bin already, but if not.
Yeah, I mean, he installed the data sucker for free.
Sure. Yeah, so there we go. Moving Jackson. Let's put money back in. Yeah, absolutely.
A Biotic.
Biotic and an Ash. Oh, no, an Archive Memories. Interesting.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially the same thing. It's just it's click intensive to do.
Right. But I think it's a little, if you, it is, because you either draw into like the Ash or you draw into the
Archive Memories and get the Ash. But it might also be because he doesn't necessarily want the Ash. He's afraid of that Caprice getting trashed and so Archive Memories gives him something that can't be trashed off of an access. And it allows him to get back either Caprice or Ash as needed. So that's certainly the safe play.
So there's a little bit more time. I mean, we have 4.5, less than 4 minutes, or less than 5 minutes for this round.
Yeah, well, Michael has the agenda, I think, in hand. So he just plays hedge fund.
Install credit hedge fund.
And now Gordie's got to go in. Gordie has to get into that server. But with, 5 credits, or 6 credits, it's a lot to ask. He's got to spend 3 of those on installing a lady.
You could. I go into R&D.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has to at this point, right?
I feel like that's the better play.
It's the only thing that is sort of a sure bet, right? You can get in.
Right, you know everything that's there.
You have all the information. Yeah, you can get in. It's just a matter of how much it costs.
Right.
And that's sort of the prohibitive factor.
Come on, Gordie.
See, he has another one in hand. So I don't really get the data sucker play. I guess if he had more turns, sure, it would end up being useful.
Right.
But I think he would have been better off just playing the lady. It's just me.
He's really. And there's a.
We'll see if it matters, but I think now is when he's making that decision. Do I run the remote or do I run?
Right. I mean, it feels like it's this or that.
And he doesn't have enough information on the remote. For instance, if it's not an agenda, if it's another Jackson, and Michael's just forcing him into that run, like that's just game ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think if you take that into account too, you have to just go for R&D.
Right. Because
you're accessing more cards for one thing. Yeah. And so I think he's calculating R&D right now.
Yep.
I don't know if he's declared the run.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
He's looking.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. None of them are agendas. Michael is so happy. That was quite a game. So that puts Michael on 14, I think. I think he swept.
We'll get some information on that, whether they split or if he swept.
It's a big deal either way.
That's huge. What a game.
There's not a lot else to say. That was really good play, I think, for both of them.
I think Gordie made the right choice at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So Michael, his brain is like, I'm fried.